ladies, I have been putting off questions for the challenge. I kind of wanted it to get a little bit closer, but I've got a lot of questions coming in. So I want to make sure everyone understands. I've got a lot of new followers on Facebook, and some of you have never done one of my challenges. This is my 7th challenge. I can't believe just 7 challenges ago, I was like, nah, I won't do challenges. I don't like challenges. And look at me now. So tell me if you're here, say hi. I'd love to see who's watching. And if you're watching the replay, that's perfectly fine. Just say hello to me. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through what the challenge is set up. So I know a lot of you don't like to jump into a challenge. You don't like to set yourself up for failure, nor do I. So a lot of you want to know, like, what am I getting into before I join? So I want to go through and talk about the whole challenge. What does it entail? And then I will also at the very end talk about like how I came up with my philosophies and get to know me a little bit more. For those of you who maybe are new to my page and have never really followed me that long or just never done my challenge and you want to know more about me. But I'm going to do that at the end so that all of you who are sick of me probably by now, but like my challenges, then you don't have to sit through that. Okay? So, all right, what I want to talk about, a 6-week challenge. So first of all, just right off the bat, this is going to start January 11th. We're going to kick off 2021 with a challenge, get our mindset right. 21 is going to be awesome. It can't be any worse than 2020. We are going to get right into it and starting you off on good habits. I am having an end of 2020 sale. So if you join before the end of the year, then you're going to save. The prices will go up, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. All right. So 6-week challenge. Really what I built this on is to help women find some sustainability in their nutrition. So I found this one quote. It says, if you're starting your 3rd round of Whole30 or your 4th go at keto because it worked last time, consider the possibility that it didn't actually work for you. So I hear a lot of my female clients who are, oh, I used to do this and it worked really well. Like if you used to do anything, then it must have not worked well enough for you to keep up with it. And that's what I really want, is I want sustainability. And we got to get rid of this yo-yo diet effect of, oh, it's working really, really good. No, I can't keep up with it. And then back down and up and down, up and down. So what my goal is with my 6-week challenge is to reverse all that yo-yo, flatten that out, and really allowing you to find that balance with life and nutrition and fitness. So I really like this quote. This kind of hit home. So here we go. My slide bar is not working. Okay. And so another one that I also like from Jen Sincero, she wrote, You Are a Badass book, says, if you're serious about changing your life, you're going to find a way. If you're not, you'll find an excuse. And so a lot of you are going to be thinking about this challenge and going, I don't think I can do it. 2020 is really bad. It's just not the right time. I need to kind of get a little bit more into the year, get things settled. You're going to come up with so many excuses as to why this is not a good time for you to join the challenge. But what I want you to do is realize that maybe you're just scared, and so many of women are, but you're not alone, okay? And the way that I've got this set up, like, it's going to calm those nerves, and it's going to be very different from any other challenge you've ever done, I promise, okay? But then also just get serious and like just about changing your life and find a way. And my challenge is a perfect way to do so. All right, so the 6-week challenge, what it's really good for is so many of the women always rave about the confidence that they feel, whether they feel more confident working out in the gym, whether that is just more confident in fitness itself or in themselves. They have a better relationship and understanding of food. The way we attack the nutrition in this challenge really helps you wrap your brain around how eating well and sustaining that can really work for you, and definitely happy with the progress and the sustainability that they get from these challenges. And they are, of course, getting stronger in their workouts. So a couple things that you get with a challenge. It does come with this guide. And in this guide, it has a nutrition plan. So it has meal plan examples. Everyone always asks me, does this come with meal plans? Does this come with meal plans? And if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I want a meal plan. Like, it comes with meal plan examples. What I love and hate about meal plans is that they will work for a couple days. And then you go to a party and you're like, oh, my meal plan doesn't work. I guess I'll just eat whatever I want. And then like it falls off. So a meal plan example I give you is more just to show you how 1,700 calories looks in a day, right? Or how 130 grams of protein in a day looks. And it gives you that idea of how you can structure your day. I also give you many different ideas of whether you like 3 meals, 4 meals, 5 meals, whatever works for you. It comes with plenty of recipes, rules on eating healthier, just general rules on like, try this, because it's worked with many, many of my clients. So it's a good little guide to help you get closer to your goals. Now, my challenge is a point reward system. This is the biggest difference between any challenge you've ever joined. A lot of challenges are just a weight loss challenge. You sign up and they give you workouts, they give you a generalized nutrition, and then they're like, okay, whoever loses the most weight wins. I do not do that. You are basically going to be earning points by achieving goals. I found that with my clients, they do better with checking off items on a list. Okay. When you go into the whole idea of starting a diet plan or a fitness plan, there's a lot of like things thrown at you, and it's kind of like, where do I start? What do I do? And so when you have a list in front of you, you're like, okay, do this, done. Do this, done. And you get to check it off. It gives you that satisfaction of like, this is attainable. I can do this. I can keep going. And you have that confidence over what to do. And so that's why I do a point reward system, because you're going to get points for drinking enough water. You're going to get points for lifting 4 times a week, your cardio 3 times a week, and also hitting the daily nutritional challenges. So you can do 4 lifts in this challenge. I want to talk about this because I have some online clients who get personalized workouts from me. And you have asked me, can I still do the challenge? Yes. These 4 workouts do not have to be my workouts. I've had clients who really like to go to the Les Mills body pump classes, or they go to a kickboxing class. You can do any lift. It doesn't have to be my workouts. I do provide you some workouts for the home and gym, but they do not have to be mine. They just have to be 4 lifts. I want you women to get stronger and put on that muscle, so I'm emphasizing lifts. Okay. Now, cardio, I also want that heart healthy. So we're doing 3 cardios a week, 20 minutes each, whether that be in the gym or at home, whatever it is, whatever. If you like to go to like a spinning class, that's perfectly fine. Whatever you want to do. And then each week, the nutritional challenges are going to help build those habits to get you to where you need to be. Like eating more protein. And then, of course, during that week of eating more protein, I actually have a structured way of getting you there, of course, without tracking your macros at that week, and eating more vegetables, eating more fiber. Like, it's just week by week, we focus on this, and you have all week to really gear it in. And then we move on to a new one, and then we move on to a new one. And so you're taking nutritional lessons bite by bite, no pun intended, but you're also then applying them slowly so that you're not so overwhelmed. So that's really the cool part. The home workouts too, because if you don't have a treadmill at home, if you don't have a bike or anything, I put together some really fun boot camp classes that you can do that count as cardio. And so that way you can get your cardio in 20 minutes, even if you don't have a piece of machinery. So if you're like, oh wait, Allie, I don't have any way to do cardio. Also, if you have bad knees and a bad back, like there's ways to get your cardio in without just jumping all over your living room and without having any big piece of equipment. Okay. So, but if you're listening and you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down below. And if you are listening and you've done the challenge, ladies, let me know what your favorite part is. Let these girls know, like, what was the coolest part about it? What have you taken away from your challenges that you've done in the past? So, I call them extra credit points, just because it's additional. Like, these people who participate in these get a little extra prize. It doesn't affect the main challenge. So you have like the main challenge, and then this is on the side. So I do offer the package with the My Zone. So if any of you that have a My Zone and you join the challenge, we use that to earn points for your team. And that's kind of like its own little competition, but not everyone has a My Zone. So that's why it's on the side. If you don't get the My Zone, you can still do the challenge. If you have any other tracker, so My Zone heart rate monitor, it's definitely specific to this because I create a challenge in the My Zone app. Now, if you're like, well, I have an Apple Watch, does that work? Like, an Apple Watch one is not as accurate, but the My Zone challenges are so different. Like, it does feed to your Apple Watch, but you need to have the My Zone. And I promise you, it's so worth it. Every one of them that's got the My Zone definitely is like, this is the coolest thing ever. I'm going to show you some pictures down below of what it looks like. But really quick side note too, if you do lose the most weight, you do get a prize, but it's not definitely the focus. I have had girls who won the challenge, but didn't lose the most weight just because of the points that they built up. And so you can do both. So that's just a little side note. I just think if you lose the most weight, you should get it. So here's the MyZone. So really quick, this little blue box here, what this is talking about is when you're working out, you can see like all those little colors at the bottom. That's your heart rate percentage while you're working out. And so this will feed your Apple Watch if you have an Apple Watch. But MyZone, we can create a challenge and you earn points. So the biggest thing with MyZone is that it's a point-based system that if I were to work out with somebody who was severely overweight and out of shape, if I put the same amount of points in, they're called effort points. If I were to put the same amount of points in as this person did, then we both worked out just as hard, but I maybe didn't burn as many calories because I don't have as many calories to burn. Maybe I have more muscle mass, the age difference, the gender. There's so many other factors, right? And that's kind of the frustrating part is females, if you've ever worked out with your husband and you have like your Apple Watch and it's like, great, you burn so many calories, you suck, I hate you. This kind of levels the playing field to let you know like you can really compete, right? And so this is the fun part. You can see your current heart rate, you can see your percentage, you can see your calories burned, all live while you're working out. It's such a motivational tool that like when you're working out, you're like, oh, I suck. Like I'm not really like pushing it hard, but your heart rate's like beating hard. Like it will just call you on your bullshit, but it will also like tell you like, hey, you're not really working that hard, push harder, or hey, good job. So when you see the screen at the end of the workout, like it gives you a virtual pat on the back is what I always like to say, just like, dang, I crushed that workout. So it's really, really awesome. So yeah, definitely ladies, tag your friends if they've ever been wanting to get onto a fitness plan. Thank you, Amy, for tagging Megan. Megan, definitely check this out. So Amy, another Amy, I have so many Amy's in this group. So Amy, she said, my favorite part was the small weekly goal points and the Facebook group to chat with each other and the motivation with each other. So yeah, that's also one of the other things is in the app, we have this little group, and throughout the challenge, a lot of the ladies were sharing recipes with each other, sharing pictures of like their salads or sharing pictures of their meal prep, because there's definitely not one way to do it. It's nice to see all of these other females going, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. Or holy crap, that looks really good. Where'd you get that? And they're all sharing like Costco ingredients, and it was really fun. So you're definitely not alone when you're doing this challenge. So here's another perspective of the MyZone, just to kind of give you an idea. It will break down the colors. The colors are really kind of motivating too when you're working out. You've got your grays when you're warming up. Blue is you're starting to get into your workout. Green is pretty intense. It's 70%. And then yellow and red are very hard. So if you do join the challenge, you have the option to add what I'm calling the bundle. You can add the MyZone, and you also get my nutrition playbook, which is, I think, now over 50 pages. Different than the challenge guide. The challenge guide is a general, simplified version of nutrition and fitness, right? This guy, I really dive into it deep, and I go into all of these different philosophies to help you really figure out what's going to work for you. So you can add this onto your bundle. That bundle is even discounted till the end of the year. So if you are thinking, this is really kind of cool, Amy says it's awesome, the other Amy says it's awesome, and you're like, I really kind of want to do this, don't put it off. Don't get distracted with the holidays coming up. Sign up now because the prices are going to go up about 25%. So now is the best opportunity to join in the challenge, okay? So here is just some of the results. You can see, actually, we've got Kristen here on my right. I don't know which direction you guys are looking at this window, but Kristen over here, she did obviously January of this year before everything went to crap, January of 2020, but she made amazing results, and she works out at home. So I know a lot of people have this kind of, especially now when you're forced to work at home, it's like, oh, you can't get good results at home. Clearly you can, right? And actually over here, Allison also did. She joined a little bit later in 2020, just right, look at that, right in the middle of the pandemic, and was able to make a lot of progress. She also, you can see on her waist, she made a lot of progress, but she also like really increased her strength. This was just shortly after having a child, was able to do push-ups. So, and she joined with her sister. And so it's always fun when siblings join. because you can like get the banter next to each other. It's really fun. So, okay. So the challenge is all point-based system. You don't have to lose the weight. If you are looking for just more confidence in your workouts, like I said, this is a lot of what you're going to get. You're going to feel more confident. And if you're like, I already work out, that's good. Okay. Then for some reason, you're not happy in what you're doing right now. Okay. If you're listening to me at this point, there's something in your daily schedule that there's just something not clicking. Whether you feel like you could be doing more results, or you feel like you're wearing yourself thin and you're not getting the result, like there's something missing. And you might feel confident in the gym. So maybe that's not for you, but maybe there is something lacking in your nutrition, and maybe you are always second guessing what you're eating and you never know exactly what to eat. And when you do eat a holiday cookie, you beat yourself up. And there's things that need to be fixed and addressed. And that's kind of what I help you do, is really kind of have that better relationship with yourself, with fitness, with nutrition, all of the above. And having that sense of peace of like, okay, like, how do you get to having a holiday cookie and having it be okay? Like, I think that is the world's biggest lesson every female should learn. And that's kind of what this does. And I've had women do this challenge multiple times. And so you're probably thinking like, well, isn't the goal just to do this once and then like be fine? Besides the fact of everything I teach you, there's something about having a challenge. If you're a competitive person, there's something about going up against other women that you're like, it just fuels your fire a little bit, right? And so, yeah, I've had clients do almost every single one of my challenges. Not so much because they need to relearn all of this, but it's a good reminder. And that fueling the fire really helps them. Okay. So if you are, like I said, if you're listening to me at this point, there is something I've said that has really kind of struck home with you, or there's something in you that you feel like could be better or you need to work on, this challenge is going to help you do that. Okay. And join before the end of the year to save 25%. Okay. All right. So for those of you who are maybe new to me, let me talk about myself really quick. Okay. So I've been a trainer for about 8 years now. So I've been and I usually do focus on women. So if there is any males listening to this, you can join the challenge. It's just, I tend to speak a little bit more to women. And so not to say that I don't train any men, but definitely focus on women. So a lot of the times this is a woman's challenge, but it doesn't mean that. So I want to talk about like what I've gone through and why I'm here where I'm at right now. Okay. So I've gone through, I call them phases. I don't know, Alley point 1, Alley point 2, whatever you want to call them. But I've gone through 3 phases really that kind of shaped my philosophy on fitness and nutrition, and has gotten me to where I am, and why this is called the Fitness Life, my company, the Fitness Life, and kind of explain that a little bit to you. So phase 1, I was dealing with depression, and still dealing with depression. And I feel like a lot of us females can speak to that, and anxiety and depression go along the same routes, especially during December, right? And I was a very emotional eater. This is my life where I would outrun my bad diet. I would eat a lot of junk food, and then I would just run. And my philosophy was, if I can outrun my bad diet, I'll be fine. What I didn't take into account is that your knees wear down, you get sick, you can't work out sometimes, the weather doesn't cooperate, and then your food, you have no control over your food. And so your food is still at a really high intake, but your body isn't doing anything because you're out of commission, right? And that basically caught up with me. I really did nothing. Nothing was off limits. I really didn't give a crap about anything. But that does create a lot of guilt. And like I talked about the holiday cookies, you probably have been there too, where you feel like you can't enjoy anything that is considered bad foods or like pizza, junk foods, or anything like that because of the guilt you feel afterwards. So phase 1 was when I was like fed up with that, right? At the end of phase 1, I was like, I can't outrun my bad diet. My knees are starting to hurt. Like, this is taking a toll and I can't keep up with it. Like, my body weight is going up and my injuries are going up. So then that created phase 2. So phase 2 was like a complete shift. right? This is when somebody was like, you should really think about competitions. So I went from eating all of the junk food to a complete opposite. And this is why a lot of females understand this is every time we start a new diet, right? We completely do a 360 and 180, whatever. and we go the other direction and we try to cut out everything. That is why people try keto, because they're like, oh, carbs are bad. Let me just cut out all the carbs and let's see if that will work. Or, oh, let's cut out all sugar. Like they do extreme strict rules with their nutrition. And that's kind of what I did in this phase. And I tracked and I measured. I basically did whatever my coach said to. But I did start getting more into lifting. This was a big thing. I do love running, and I still love running, and I still run to this day. But this is definitely the phase where I lifted. I started to get into really heavy lifting and challenging myself, and that intensity was there in those exercises. So definitely the smallest I was and the most muscle, and I felt amazing. I got on stage, not in this purple suit, but I got on stage. That was my very first show. But I got on stage like 4 shows later, and I was in New York at a pro national show or whatever. And at 9%, I was feeling like on top of the world, amazing. And the judges were just like, they didn't even like look at me, right? Like I was nobody. I wasn't big enough. I wasn't lean enough, but I was the best I've ever been. And that just crushed me. It absolutely crushed me because I was like, okay, if my best I've ever been is not good enough, then like, I don't have anything else to give. My tank was empty, but in order to get where I thought I wanted to go, needed a lot more. And I was like, no, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing because I can't keep up with this. You kind of can see a trend here. I keep trying to keep up with what I wanted to run more and run more and run more. My body wouldn't let me do it, right? And then I wanted to diet more and be more strict and lift heavier and lift more and exercise more, but it wasn't paying off because I was missing out on date nights. I was missing out on parties. The scale, and I always talk about this with my clients, is what you're putting in. Is it worth the scale over here? And is it tilting to one side or the other? And during phase 2, it definitely wasn't. And so came phase 3. I was like, all right, shut this down. This isn't working. I need to figure out what's going on. And so I developed a better relationship with food. This is when I really started grasping there is no good or bad foods. You will never hear me say, you are not allowed to eat this, this, or this during the 6-week challenge. Because I strongly believe, because of phase 2, if you are told you can't eat X, Y, or Z, you are only going to want to eat X, Y, and Z. Okay? I could not eat so many things during this phase, and that's all I ever wanted. Okay? And so now I got rid of that. Okay? No good or bad foods. Have a better relationship with food. Finding that balance between having date night with your husband and still looking amazing and feeling confident. Going to parties and still hitting your fitness goals. Having that confidence that I'm not at 9%, but still having that confidence of I don't have to be show weight or stage body fat percentage to feel good about myself. And it baffles so many people that like, how could you not feel good about yourself at 12%? That's because I was 9%. And 12% doesn't sound like a big deal, or 14%. I'm probably more like 14, 15 right now, which is still athletic. But when you've been here, it's hard to wrap your brain around here. And that might be a really extreme example, but I've had clients who, you did used to weigh 30 pounds lighter and now you're here. Okay. Well, now we need to figure out how to get you back down to a healthier weight so you're healthy, but it might not be what you were before. And how do we wrap around that? And it might not be what it was before, and that's perfectly fine as long as your scales are balanced. Are you okay with putting in what is required to live at this lifestyle? Okay. And if you're not happy here, but you're not willing to, then we need to work on that relationship. And so a lot of mindset with this challenge, okay, to help you feel amazing. So I really want you to get to phase 3, which is balance. Creating that balance, which is called the fitness life. It's just balancing fitness and everything that comes with it. So with the 6-week challenge, I always love to help people outrun a bad diet, okay? And a bad diet is just something you can't maintain. Keto, if you think keto is awesome and you can maintain it, I think you're lying to yourself. But if you think that and you can maintain it for a long time and it's working for you, great. I just don't think it's maintainable. Because you go to any house party and protein is like the last thing on the table. Trust me, because it drives me crazy. And it's like carb central. So keto really, I don't think is livable for a long period of time. But I want you to outrun any bad diet, and any bad diet is something you can't maintain. I want you to not run yourself into the ground, as I have done several times in the past. You can't keep up with it. And I definitely want to get rid of the bulldozer effect. And you can lie to yourself and say, oh, I've never done that. But you immediately will go shopping. You're like, oh, I can't eat that. If you've said, I can't have that, and you weren't talking about like an intolerance or an allergic reaction, then you have bulldozered your diet because you have pushed things out of your nutrition because you think that they're not going to get you to where you are. That's just no more. Okay. That's what the 6-week challenge is all about. No more of that. We're going to build balance. So, and just by having the direction in the 6-week challenge, and like I talked about those tasks of do this, do this, do this, it really changes the way you approach fitness. When someone just says, you need to eat better and move more, like that's so broad, right? You don't have a to-do list. There's nothing to check. And so you kind of go in there feeling overwhelmed and not where to start. But if you have a list, like a grocery store, you go to the store, you're like, oh, I need milk, I need eggs, I need bread. Like boom, boom, boom. You get that all done, and you have more confidence and more satisfaction that like, I did what was required. Now trust the process. So that's why I've built the 6-week challenge the way that it is, and it's worked. Like I said, this is the 7th time. It's awesome. There's a lot of camaraderie between all the ladies, and I think it's a really cool challenge to do. I talk too much. Weird. Okay, so I think I've answered quite a bit of the questions. So let me just review really quick. Sorry if I'm making you motion sickness. Okay, it is a point-based system. I think a lot of you are just scared about what's on the other side if you join. So you get access to my app, and there are home and gym workouts in there. You do not have to do my home workouts or my gym workouts. If you already have a program and you like that program, then you can still join. Because if the nutritional side of things and the challenge side of things really like gets you excited, and you're like, well, but I like my workouts. Like, don't let that hold you back. The workouts, to be honest, is like a side effect. Like, people like them, but they really like the nutritional. Like Amy said in her comments, she said she really liked the weekly goals because it breaks everything down into like bite sizes that you can actually tackle and makes you feel like you can do something without being so overwhelmed. Okay. And stress is not good when you're trying to lose weight. So this is good. So, and you get a nutritional guide with everything in it. So make sure you click on the link. I don't think I put the link in my description. I will put that in there. Go to the link in my bio, click on the link in the description, sign up before the end of the year, because that's when the prices will go up. January 1st, they go up about 25%. Just to kick off 2020, let's get rid of this bad mojo, right? And let's kick off 2021 with some positive vibes. We're going to start January 11th. I wanted to give us a little bit of time for things to calm down after the holiday, let you get all of your sweets in there. Go ahead, have fun, enjoy the holidays. Don't feel guilty because you joined the challenge and you're going to kick butt on January 11th. So if you have any questions and you don't want to comment, feel free just to message me. I can help you with that. And we'll go from there. So I hope to see you guys on the other side, and thanks for listening. Okay, bye.